here is that like we're meeting right now in this space. And years from now, we'll come back and meet, and we'll have our teams that are getting us all ready, and we're all coming in here. Either we're on stages or we're in small rooms or whatever ways that we're doing this and creating transformation in our ways. So I really just want to acknowledge all of you for being in this conversation exactly as you are. With the light shining on us and allowing for everything else to just kind of grow and expand from there. I'm excited that we get to be in this space together here. We were talking a little bit beforehand, and one of the things that I like to do in this space is really just to give us an opportunity to get into what I'll call a joyful energy. The joyful energy here is really about helping us get into the energetic. Now, this does not mean you have to be in the emotions of, so let me just make sure I call that out, but the energy of joy. When I look to the energy of joy, we're talking about the energy of expansiveness, of wholeness, of integrity, of creation, right? You might still be angry. You might still like have the emotion of sadness that's taking place. And happiness and joy live in two different worlds for me. You know, so I want to create some space for us to be in this environment here as an opportunity for us to take 15 minutes to just get into the energy of joy, so that you can go and take that as a booster for the rest of your day, the foundation for the start of your day, or the way to encompass and wrap up a wonderful day that's taken place. So that's what we do here in this segment of that joyful energy. We meet a few times a week. We set aside about 20 to 30 minutes, and we just come in here with a different way each time to just raise our energy up to the joyful level. And if we're already there, then this gets a chance to cement that even further, bolster that even more, and give us a chance to share and spread that even further with the people on this call, and eventually anyone else later on that watches that. So far, so good. Is that, are we squared away on that? Wonderful, wonderful. So let's play here. We'll play until the top of the hour overall. And what I want to do today is spend time really looking at, well, let me just ask really quickly here, because I can lead us through an exercise. I can help us get into that energy and do it. But I think before we get there, or if we get there at all, we need to make sure that this is actually why you are here. And for you to know what the benefits of it is, should it be. So let me just check in with you, because I've changed, like lives have changed in 3 minutes or less. And all I know is I come into these conversations knowing whatever we do, the energy will rise. Whatever we do, the energy will rise. So it could be like, I want to make sure I see and talk to you all and make sure I know who's here and what's actually real for you. Let's all take in some time really quickly here and take about 10 seconds. And I want you to think about the single greatest impact that could come out of 15 minutes of being in this conversation here. If you allowed yourself to just be in the wildest of your dreams, energetically, in the way that you feel, in the way that you carry out every single thing that you do today. If being in this conversation for 15 minutes led you to take the most bold action that you can, the boldest action, the most audacious, to help you go to the place of your fear, look it in the eye and take the action anyway. If it help you come to a place of just serenity and peace within you, or took you to a place of courageous silliness, whatever it is right here, right? I'm like, it's really fun. I'm thinking of two different adjectives and I'm just putting them together. But I want to create that much space around what this is. Joy is a word that encompasses an energy. I want you to tap into that for yourself and take this 10 seconds to feel into what would that be if, as a result of being here, you would leave with the next part of your day would just be absolutely tremendous. When you have, I just wanted to see like a quick nod from you so I know before we continue. Okay. All right. Louisa, how would you love to feel in the next 10 minutes?
Solid,
Mhm.
centered, and
Mhm.
then courageous about tackling a few things I keep trying to put off that I know I will feel better when I've done. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a kind of like a feeling of expansive
Yep. Yep.
solidness, not just kind of like a heavy weight, but a kind of a light solidness. Yeah,
Yeah.
light solidness. It's grounded, so it's not floating away in the universe,
Hmm.
but it's solid enough that it's here and it's real and it enables me to just go, right, here we are.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for bringing that into this room. Kirsty, how about you?
Very similar to Louisa, and that's why I was smiling when you were saying it, because the one that is to me is courageous and confident, because I've got some things that I've been putting off taking action to do, and I want to come out and take that intentional action and feel confident and comfortable to take that courageous action that I've been putting off. So to get that off my list would make my week just float so much easier. So to have that feeling of, yeah, would be good.
Yeah. All right. So let's lean into that here in this conversation here. All right. What I'm feeling in particular from what I'm hearing here, there's something here for both of you where there's some courageous action that's just on the cusp of being taken. And I'm like, okay, we can play with that. We can be here in this space, aligned toward that. All right. What I'm going to invite you to do is, do you have a pen and paper around you in any way?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
Many,
invite you here.
both.
We're going to take on the act of a declaration here. And what I'm going to invite you here is to give ourselves the space to declare, since we know what our uh, the place that we're coming from for the rest of the day. Okay. So let me give a little bit of context around a declaration. There's some things that we can do where we look to the future and we say, okay, we look and we try and we plan towards it. We try and manage towards it to know, okay, how are we going to do this? And as we continue to look at that objective that we have in mind, the steps to get there, the path, the actual task itself seems to grow in its magnitude as well. That's one way of approaching things. The other way to approach it is to come from a place of declaring and then fulfilling it, declaring and meeting what that is, to set forth and say and claiming, this is where I'm heading, this is where I'm about, this is what I'm going for, and then to actually simply step in and fulfill that claim. And so what I want to do is give us a space here to take about a minute each I'm sorry, a minute in total to spend some time to think about who we would need to be in order to take that courageous action. I'll give you an example on my end here. So the World Joy Movement right now exists because one day I came out and I declared to the world, my name is Niyama Asham, and I lead the World Joy Movement. It is a movement of champions who are actively finding their way to change the way that humanity looks into the future. And I'll pause even at that. There's more things that have come on from there, but the in given that declaration throughout the entire day, throughout every single conversation, throughout every email, everything came back to, my name is Niyama Shah, and I lead these champions. And every decision was made from that place. So I want to give you just 1 minute for yourself to just tap back into who you are and give us a chance to be able to declare that in this space. When like, is there any questions about this exercise? Just a minute, and you can just write down whatever it is. It doesn't need to be a powerful statement. It doesn't need to be a cohesive statement. Write down for a minute to get into the person that you will be to take this courageous action. All right. So we spent time here in a minute. If you ever want to take this exercise on again, you can spend more time in the journaling of it all. I'm going to invite you now to looking at everything you wrote there, come up with 3 words that really embody everything that you were feeling. For me in this moment, the 3 words were play, presence, and power. What are the 3 words that really encompass this for you? And you don't have to have alliteration. Just once I got 2 P's, I gotta have a 3rd P. And if 3 is too much or 3 is too little, like lean into what actually resonates with you here. Here's a guideline here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Three is always a challenge.
Yeah. In which direction are you feeling? One, you're like, do I just have 1 or 2, or you're like, you have way more?
More. I always want more words though, because then I don't have to define it quite so clearly.
Perfect. So Louisa, for us here, in every time we come and play in this space, I want you to embody more. I want you to embody more. Like I might give some limitations, and I'm going to invite you to always embody more. Let this be a place that you can like expand and experience that. All right. How does that feel when I say that, by the way?
Yeah, good. Good. And then I kind of wonder sometimes whether it's a good challenge for myself to bring some of that focus.
Bring more focus then. Like that, like.
Yeah, I don't know. Just interesting. Maybe I will.
This is what I would say here. These aren't at odds. I just said always bring more. So if you want to bring focus, great. Just bring more focus. That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's do this here. We're coming up to the top of the hour, and I want to make sure that that you all get a chance to play in the space of declaration. So what we're going to do is that we're each going to go around and share in this space here, such that the other ones of us in this conversation can really see who you are being, right? So looking at the words that you wrote down originally, looking at the 3 words that you had that came up for you, and just let us know who you are based on that and that alone. Does that make sense when I say that? We're going to just spend some time here and just articulate that into this space here. It may not be how we were feeling beforehand. It may not be what we look like what we look at when we see ourselves in the mirror. But I want to just give ourselves this chance here to actually like state that and give ourselves an anchoring point for the rest of this day. So let's do this here. I want, Louisa, do you feel something that's coming through? Do you have a statement that's coming through for you?
Yeah, I'll have to read it.
Yep.
I am a deeply loving, courageous leader, guiding and supporting people to grow in their vitality, their courage, their light and aliveness. And then when I reduced it down, I ended up, because I'm a bit of a rebel, so I was never going to pick 3. I was only ever going to put more or less than you said. I've actually got courageous and vitality as my 2 key words, which I think vitality then covers a lot of the kind of the aliveness and the light and all that juice all in one word.
Awesome. Let's now hear, there's something I'm going to add in here, but I'm receiving you that, and I'm seeing you as courageous, vitality, and that rebel spirit of yours that just is here. Kirsty, how about you?
Yeah. I want to empower and inspire people to thrive authentically in their life. I am a courageous leader. I want to show them courage and overcome fears. I want to be the creator of my reality. My 3 words were authenticity, lead, and empower.
Lovely. So we'll end this here with this one thing here. As you go forth to take on these courageous actions, I'm going to invite you to take the smallest step that you can. And for you, Louisa, to imbue that step with deep love. Whatever that is, to just be in a space of deep love. Let courage go to the side and just imbue it with deep love. For you, Kirsty, as you're going through it, imbue it with just that element of showing them. There is no right thing here. Just allow it to just be shown in this space. There's nothing else that you need to take anyone else with. And also allow courage to come to the side as you let that go through. Find the tiniest element and we'll imbue it a bit with this different way of being. All right. So with that, I'm going to bid you all off into the day. That you'll have a joyful day, and we'll continue on from here. All right.
Yeah, love it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.
Ciao.
It's the World Joy Movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself and let's take the conversation to the next level because you're there now. All right, let's play.